Hello, in this video we are going to study in details the parts of the plant cell. Before proceeding to the plant cell, I will remind you that all cells, they are classified into two kinds, animal cell and plant cell. From their names, animal cell, they are animal cells, they are found in all species of animals, while plant cells, they are found in all species of plants. Animal cell, it's not only in animal, but also we can find it in the human because human and animals, they share the same body parts and the same functions. So these are pictures for animal cell as it is seen under a microscope. And I will remind you that animal cell, it's made up of three main parts, an inner and central part that is called the nucleus, which is the part that controls the function of the cell. The nucleus is found in a space that we call it cytoplasm, in which all of the work of the cell will happen here. And finally, the door of the cell or the border of the cell or the outer covering, we call it cytoplasmic membrane, that helps the cell to obtain all of the needs by entering through this membrane and to get rid or to remove all the waste through it. So cytoplasmic membrane, it's for the cellular exchange of the materials. So these are the parts of the animal cell. Now let's see the plant cell. Plant cell, we said that plant cells, they are found in all plants that make their own food. Now plants cells under the microscope, as you can see, we have many parts. If you look at these many parts, you can easily notice that some parts, they are common with the animal cell. What are these parts? Let's look at them. First, I have the cytoplasm, which is the same part as in the animal cell. So this is a cell. That means it has a function to do or to perform. For this cell to work, it must have a space so that all the work will happen in this space. And we took before that this space, it has a name that is called cytoplasm. That's why plant cells, they have cytoplasm, just like the animal cell. Another common part is the central part that is found inside the cell. It is called the nucleus. So the same as in animal cell, nucleus is the boss of the animal cell. It controls every action that the cell makes in order to function properly. The same in plant cell, it has a nucleus because it needs a boss to control it. Also, it has outer covering here. This outer covering, the one that I am moving on it, this one, it's the door of the cell that will control or that will regulate, يعني will help some needed materials to enter inside and to remove the waste which is the unwanted material outside. This outer covering is called cytoplasmic membrane. So we can conclude that plant cell and animal cell, they have common parts between them. These common parts, we will find them in all cells, either they are plant or animal. These parts are three: nucleus to control the cell, cytoplasm so that all the actions happen in, cytoplasmic membrane, which will regulate the cellular exchange of materials. We still have another interesting thing about the plant cell. If you notice here, I don't have only one outer covering. I have two outer covering. I have the inner one, which is known as the cytoplasmic membrane, and I have an outer one, which is here. And this outer covering, it is called the cell wall. We call it cell wall because it's the outer covering of the cell, and we call it wall because it looks like a wall. It's hard and rigid, okay? So that it's a kind of protective outer covering for the plant cell. So I will repeat, cell wall, it's the outer covering of the plant cell. So plant cell, it has two covering. Inner one, which is called cytoplasmic membrane, which looks like a door. So materials can enter and go out of it. And we have a protective outer covering that is called cell wall. And this is for the protection of the plant cell. Finally, also, we have another interesting thing, but this time it's inside the plant cell and it's in the cytoplasm. As you can see here, we have green parts. These green parts, they are called chloroplast. I told you before that plants, they make their own food when they take the light from the sun, when they take the carbon dioxide from the air, and when they take the water or absorb the water from the soil. All of these ingredients, they must be mixed together. Now, the place where the food of the plant will be made or will be cooked, it's called the chloroplast. So in other terms, I can say that chloroplast is the kitchen of the plant. Just like in our houses, if we want to cook, we go to the kitchen to make food, with the same for the plant. In order for the plants to make their own food, this process of making food, which is called photosynthesis, it happens inside the chloroplast. That's why it's colored green. So the parts that are special only for the plant cell, we call them cell wall, so that it protects the plant cell. The last one, chloroplast, they found only in green plants, not in any plant, only in green. It is for photosynthesis. They are only the place where the food will be made. Okay, so to summarize, we have two kinds of cells, plant cell, animal cell. These two kinds, they have common parts between them. These common parts are cytoplasmic membrane, cytoplasm, and the nucleus. I have two extra special parts that are only found in the plant cell. They are chloroplast, that we find them only in the green plants because only green plants, they make their own food in a process called photosynthesis. And the other part is the cell wall, which is an extra outer covering found in only plant cell in order to protect their cells. Okay, these are for the kinds of the cells. Now, let's see some cells. How do they look like under a microscope? If you remember, the microscope is an instrument that we use it to see the tiny living things, just like the cells. The first picture we have, it's for the onion cell. Onion cell, we will bring an onion here and we will peel the transparent part that is found inside the onion. We will put it under the microscope. طبعا we will put a coloring substance so that we can see clearly the cells, and the cells will appear here. We have this point is the nucleus, and the covering, they are the membranes, they are not so clear here, but we have two. We have cell wall and we have the cytoplasmic membrane. طبعا because it's a plant cell. The second picture, it's for another plant, and this plant we call it moss. These are the mosses, okay? So they are green plants. If we took a small piece of a moss plant and we put it under the microscope, we can see this amazing picture. where these green, they are the chloroplast, where the plant will make its own food. Finally, we have a cell that is taken from a leaf, a green leaf. Here it's clear that I have two membranes. The outer one here is the cell wall, and the inner one is the cytoplasmic membrane. And inside the cell, I have the chloroplasts that are responsible for photosynthesis. We still looking at different cells under the microscope. This time we are looking at a living thing that is called paramecium. It's a living thing that has only one cell. We find it in the rivers or in water. We have cheek cells that are found in our cheeks. As you can see, cytoplasmic membrane, the cytoplasm, and the nucleus. Also, we have, these are blood cells. We have another that is the sperm cell, and this is an egg cell. These are cells, this is a sperm cell, and this is the head of the sperm cell. This is found in the male and in the boys, or in the male animals. It's for reproduction. And we have the cell here that is the ovule. It's the egg cells found in the body of female, and it's also for reproduction. These are different kinds of cells. This cell is found in all muscles. This cell it's found in the nerves, and also in our brain. This cell, it is a bone cell, and these are blood cells. As you can see, we have different shapes, we have different sizes for cells according to what do they do. If you like this video and you find it helpful, don't forget to like it and to subscribe to my channel.